morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anusta Acharya. The top stories first. Baradase festivals begin from today. Prayers and offerings to continue for the next 9 days. Fare of public transport in Kathmandu Valley hiked. Commuters to pay a minimum of ₹18 per using public vehicles. Private sector demands endorsement of MCC, say the grant assistance can wall out Nepal's economy. Human rights organizations report massive violation in the country, accuses the UN of turning a blind eye to the problem. And Spain ended Italy's long unbeaten run to reach Nation League final. Ferran Torres scores 11 goals for Spain since September 1. And now the news in detail. Navaratri Parva, or the ninth festival of Baradase, the biggest festival of Hindus in Nepal, has commenced from today. A report. The first day of Baradase festival is called Ghatasthapana, that falls on the first day of the bright half of the lunar calendar in the month of Ashwin. On the day of Ghatasthapana, all Hindus in Nepal worship an oil-fed lamp, an auspicious jar, and Lord Ganesh in accordance with Vedic rituals, and sow barley seeds in a jar filled with soil and cow dung for germination of the auspicious barley shoots known as Jamara. The auspicious time of observing Ghatasthapana is 11:46 am today, according to Nepal Calendar Determination Committee. Prayers are also offered to Durga Bhavani, the goddess of power, today. Germination of the auspicious Jamara is also initiated at Hanuman Dhoka Dasaighar in accordance with Vedic rituals today. There is also a tradition of sacrificing animals while initiating the germination of Jamara. Also today, prayers are offered to Goddess Mahakali, Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati at the Dasaighar, marking the beginning of the 9 nights of Navaratri. The barley, shoots and the auspicious tika are given by parents to their children and by elders to their juniors on the 10th day of the Baradase festival, with blessings for peace, progress and prosperity. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba has expressed his confidence that Nepal Police is an organization that is influenced by power and does not compromise on investigation. A report. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba expressed the hope that Nepal Police would perform its duties in a dignified manner with high moral. According to PM Deuba, fair investigations are the basic for rule of law. It provides justice to victims and aid impunity. The Prime Minister further said he believes that Nepal Police will not compromise on fair investigation under the influence of power. At a program organized yesterday to mark the 66th Nepal Police Day, the Prime Minister suggested that Nepal Police stay alert against organized and electronic crimes. He urged the police organization to provide effective services through institutional development, stating that the Common Minimum Program of the coalition government has laid an emphasis for the professionalism of the security bodies by operating them in a capable, independent and transparent manner. Prime Minister Deuba opined that the government was sensitive to boost the morale of police personnel and to make the organization well-resourced. On the occasion, 32 families of police employees who had sacrificed their lives while on duty were honored. Of them, 7 were from Kathmandu and remaining 26 families were from different provinces. Prior to this, Prime Minister Deuba and Home Minister Balkrishna Khand paid tribute to the police monument. The state government of Bagmati province has hiked the fare of public transportation in 13 districts of the province, including Kathmandu Valley. The Ministry of Physical Infrastructure Development of Bagmati province has increased the fare by up to 23% of public transport outside the Kathmandu Valley, while the fare has been hiked in the valley based on distance. With the latest hike, commuters of the valley should now pay Rs 18 for distance between 0 to 5 kilometers, Rs 23 up to 10 kilometers, Rs 30 up to 20 kilometers and Rs 35 above 20 kilometers. The provincial government has been entrusted with the responsibility to revise fare of public transport for both long and short route within the province as per a recent decision of the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure Development. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 762 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 799,615, while the number of active cases has dropped to 16,194. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 772,229 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country, following the recovery of 819 patients yesterday. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,192 after 12 fatalities were reported yesterday. Nepal is currently among 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 44.91 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 33.89 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 237.04 million people across the world and claimed over 4.83 million lives. The Public Procurement Monitoring Office has blacklisted 7 construction companies. The office issued a notice on Tuesday informing that the companies were blacklisted because they failed to complete the projects as per the contract. In the notice, the office mentioned that they were blacklisted from 1 to 3 years, effective from October 5. The decision to blacklist the companies was decided as per Section 65 of the Public Procurement Act 2063. MS Indo Engineering Project Corporation of Maharashtra, India was blacklisted for 3 years as per the recommendation of the Project Directorate of the Department of Roads, Bisalnagar. Similarly, upon the recommendation of Nagarjun Municipality, Land Ring Construction Service, Kathmandu has been blacklisted for 2 years. Other companies that were blacklisted for 1 year include Bipin Vet Center, Kashyapati Construction Service, Ratana Trade International, Ninlantha Construction Service and Suppliers, and Adventure and Anand. The blacklisted companies would not be allowed to participate in the purchase and construction services called by the government. And now the news from economic front. The Business Association of Private Sector have called for the endorsement of the Millennium Challenge Corporation Pact signed under Nepal-US Corporation. In a joint statement issued on Wednesday, the Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the Confederation of Nepalese Industries and the Nepal Chamber of Commerce demanded that the MCC be passed by the Parliament immediately. The joint statement urges the government of Nepal, all political parties and stakeholders to immediately pass and implement the MCC in the national interest as adequate investment is needed to revive the economy in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. The statement further said that the MCC has the potential for long-term power, export and technology transfer. As per the agreement reached between the two countries, the construction of transmission lines and road maintenance has not progressed even in 4 years, the statement said. Timely completion of power transmission line and road maintenance projects, which are of strategic importance in Nepal's development, would help in high economic growth, according to the private sector. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Human rights advocates from southern Yemen have accused the United Nations of turning a blind eye to human rights violations committed in areas under government control at the hands of what they described as terrorist groups. Human rights lawyers also criticized the UN and its former envoy to Yemen, Martin Griffiths, for his piecemeal approach to the conflict and the putting politics before humanity, a negotiating strategy that has led to a complete failure of the peace process, they said. The government of Yemen is using violence against its citizens in Sabwa, including targeted assassinations with the help of agents from extremist and terrorist groups, said Nasser Obed, a human rights activist with the Southern Independent Group, an NGO representing southern Yemenis. Speaking on the sidelines of the Human Rights Council last week in the Swiss city of Geneva, Obed said Yemeni citizens who collaborated with the Sabwani Allied Forces, a UAE-backed militia, was fought Al-Qaeda alongside the tribals in the south, are now victims of government reprisals. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Italy's world record 37-game unbeaten run came to an end as Spain beat them in an enthralling encounter at the San Siro to reach the Nations League final. Albeit in UEFA's secondary tournament, Spain got a measure to revenge for the Euro 2020 semi-final penalty shootout defeat by eventual winners Italy at Wembley. Manchester City's Ferran Torres scored Spain's goal in Milan from two Mikel crosses to send Luis Enrique's side to Sunday's final against either Belgium or France. Italy were already second best and 1-0 down when captain Leonardo Bonucci was sent off to two bookings, the second off for an elbow on Sergio Busquets. They looked dead and buried until Lorenzo Pellegrini's late goal after a wonderful Federico Chiesa run on the counter-attack but could not find an unmerited equalizer. Spain handed 17-year-old Barcelona midfielder Xavi a start, making him the youngest international in the history, less than 6 weeks after his club debut, and he looked at home on the stage. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Bodadose festival begins from today. Prayers and offerings to continue for the next 9 months. Fare of public transport in Kathmandu Valley hiked. Commuters to pay a minimum of ₹18 for using public vehicles. Private sector demands endorsement of MCC so the grant assistance can bail out economies battered by COVID-19. Human rights organization report massive violation in the country, accuse the UN for turning a blind eye to the problem. And Spain ended Italy's long unbeaten run to reach Nations League final. Ferran Torres scores 11 goals for Spain since September 1. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.